Yeah, so before we start the lesson, I'll like to set some norms for for the session. Why? Because we need to make sure that it goes well and everyone is able to participate and everyone's queries are answered. So to make the lesson more enjoyable and more fruitful, we need to like set some norms. So I have these few norms for like for this next 1 hour. If you want to add anything, you can add like after that. So first one is express yourself in the sense that you can, like, you are free to talk, you are free to like give your opinions, whatever you feel like. You can poke me if you feel that I am saying something that is wrong or you don't like or you don't agree with. So, and the second one is listen to others. So everyone will get chance to speak at some point of time. So our job will be to listen to the other people who are talking, whoever is talking, the others should like pay attention to that. So that will also help us know their understanding and their perspectives. And last is have fun, so you can relax and so it's not like your mathematics class or your physics class, so you can just chill and we can like, you will not even understand how the time flies, like time will fly in next 1 hour. Let's begin then. So anything you like to add, you'd like to add, any one of you, regarding the norms or the rules of the class, or anything you don't agree with? So you can unmute yourself and speak, anyone, if you want to say anything, or you can just write in the chat box. Both options are there. Yeah, so we'll start by introducing ourselves. The two questions are there. We are going to like one by one, we are going to answer the questions and try to um, get ourselves introduced in the for the session. So I'll start by myself. My name is Bijan and my favorite superhero is Batman. That's why I've given the like posted the picture of Batman over there. So I'll tag Anu.
I am Anu. You all know me, right? And let's see, who's my favorite superhero? I can't think of any. Wonder Woman. I tag Ishanvi. You're up next, Ishanvi.
My name is Shanvi, and my favorite superhero is Raven.
Nice. You can tag anyone, Ishanvi.
My name is Shanvi, and my favorite superhero is Raven.
Yes, so you tag the next person who can speak after you.
I think I'll go with Aradhya.
Aradhya, your turn.
My name is Aradhya and my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. And
Spider-Man.
I'm gonna tag Chetra.
My name is Chetra and my favorite superhero is the Flash, and I tag Nidhi.
My name is Nidhi and my favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Nice. Spider-Man has a lot of fan followers. I think the last one is Agnish, so you can share. Agnish.
My name is Agnish and my favorite superhero is Black Panther.
Okay, nice. So all of you watch superhero movies, I think. So we'll get started with this. So we'll start with some meditation so that we can calm our minds and get ourselves ready for the session. So what you'll have to do is I'll play the video. You just watch the video and do what the video is asking you to do. For example, they are giving instructions. You can follow the instructions, and that will be all.
Fly with Abel and Phi. Body scan meditation. Sit in a comfortable position and bring attention to your body. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You can notice your body seated wherever you are, feeling the weight of your body on the chair or on the floor. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through your mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through your mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring your attention to the top of your head. Sense this area. What do you feel? Stillness or a feeling running through your hair? Breathe. And as you breathe, relax the top of your head. Continue to breathe and move your attention to the side of your head in your ears. What do you sense? Do you hear anything? Now bring your attention to the neck and throat. Let them be soft. Relax. Soften your jaw. Let your face and facial muscles be soft. Smile softly and gently. Notice your back against the chair. Bring your attention into your stomach area. If your stomach is tense or tight, let it soften. Take a breath. Notice your hands. Are your hands tense or tight? See if you can allow them to soften. Notice your arms. Feel any sensation in your arms. Let your shoulders be soft. Bring your attention to your legs and your feet. Feel your feet touching the ground and making a connection with it. Now notice your whole body present. Take one more breath. Be aware of your whole body as best you can. Take a breath. And then, when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, so I want all of you one by one to express yourself in the sense that after watching this and at this moment, how do you feel? So like anyone can start. Like, how do you feel at this point of time? Chaitra, you can start. Okay, fine. So I Chaitra doesn't feel anything. We'll go with Aradhya. Like anything you can share. Like how do you feel?
I feel nice or good?
Okay, Nidhi.
I feel excited.
Okay, Agnish.
I feel relaxed.
Relax. So I can't see the like other child. Like who is there? Someone else is there, no?
Her name is Ishanvi.
Ishanvi. Hi, Ishanvi. How do you feel?
I feel relaxed and relief.
Nice. Anu, you want to share?
I feel good, calm.
Okay. Yeah. So I also feel excited about like the class and bit tensed also to see how it looks. How do you like it? So yeah. So let's begin with some discussion. So you can see a picture over here, right? And there are two questions attached to this picture. So you can take your time, and whoever wants to share, you can share. I'll give you like 30 seconds to look at it. And these two questions are what do you see in this picture? And the second question is what do you feel about this picture? Whatever answer comes to your mind, you can share. Like take some time and you can share. So I'll not call out anyone. Anyone can come up and share their response.
I see a happy family and feel happy for them.
I feel
happy for them too.
And what do you see?
I see a happy family.
Okay. Anyone else?
I see
I see a child and his parents embracing, and I feel happy about them, and I feel like they're spreading the warmth.
Nice.
I feel I see a family and I feel happy for them.
Correct. Anything else? Anyone else? Anyone who wants to add anything to that?
Me. I see that they're a happy family and I feel happy for them.
Right.
I also see a
So,
really aesthetic view in their window.
okay. Who said that? Ishanvi?
Yes.
Yeah. Good observation. I think like because others didn't notice there are windows and the flower vase is also there, the plants, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So, yeah. So, in the picture, basically, what we see is we see the smiling parents are hugging their child, the window, the plants, etc. Like a lot of things are there, and the feeling that you have after seeing this picture is kind of like most of you said that you feel happy. So, happiness is the first thing that I wrote. Like even I felt happy with the like after seeing the picture, and love and compassion, right? They're like embracing each other, so it shows love and love for the child, right? So these are two different things that I wanted to point out.
Sir?
Yes.
Also, there's the carpet and the floor.
Okay. Yes, there's a carpet on the floor. I didn't notice that. So yeah. So another similar type of question over here. Like here, I think you can see what's there. Like the horse and the girl is hugging the horse. Like, can you describe the kind of emotion that is being shown in this picture? The emotion that is expressed in this picture?
She's happy and excited for something.
Happy and excitement. So the girl is excited for a horse ride, I think,
Yeah.
right?
She
Okay,
kind of looks
maybe
happy and excited.
nice. And anything else? Anything that comes to your mind?
The girl is happy and she's happy to have a horse.
She's happy
The
to have a
girl-
horse.
The girl is happy and she's showing a lot of affection to her horse, like she loves it a lot.
Right, right. Anything else? Anyone wants to
Yeah.
add?
The girl is
Never mind.
Okay, Aradhya, go ahead. After that,
Okay.
Agni.
She really likes her horse.
Yeah, the picture shows, right? Yes, Agnish?
The picture shows that how happy the girl is with his horse and is excited for something.
Right, right. So most of you have answered like very correctly. So she's happy with the horse, and she's feeling like there's a kind of love and affection between the horse and the girl that is very much reflected in this picture, right? And so this is what brings us to the lesson actually. So this feeling of love that cannot be that you cannot touch and see, but it is there, right? So you cannot touch the love, or but you can only feel it, right? So that kind of thing, those kind of things are called abstract. So this, we'll learn more about this in the like these things in the lesson. So let's see how it goes. So today, so these are the basically the objectives for the lesson. We'll be learning about the abstract ideas, and we'll try to differentiate between abstract and concrete ideas. And also we'll try to identify similarities, differences, and understand different types of patterns through abstraction, through abstract ideas. So let's begin. Yeah. So we'll start by defining it, and then we'll go to some examples. So if you look at the picture, they show different kinds of emotions, right? I hope all of you have used these emojis in the while chatting with your friends and all. So this shows different kind of emotions. So these type of imaginary feelings like love, happiness, freedom, etc. are called abstract, are abstract concepts, right? And so there are a few examples over here like love, anger, compassion, kindness, right? Can anyone tell me the meaning of compassion? Meaning of compassion, anyone? So it is also a form of love. So when you try to help someone out of love or out of empathy, it is called compassion. So can you think of some other examples that we can describe as abstract ideas? It can be anything. It can be imaginary feelings. It can be ideas, qualities.
Excitedness.
Excitedness, yes. Excitement. And so Chaitra, get the first example.
Angry.
Sorry. Pardon. Nidhi, can you
Worried
repeat?
and sad
Correct. Sad.
and
Sadness.
bored.
Bored. Correct. And anything else? Curious. Right.
Cool.
Fine. Cool. That is also a correct answer. Shall we move ahead?
Silliness.
Silliness. Yes. Perfect. So here is an example over here that will help us understand abstract ideas in a better way. So here's a picture over here. You can see a lot of people over here talking, I think, right? Talking and questioning, and some people are sitting on the stage. So I want you to find out, I want you to describe the main idea of this picture. Like, what do you think it can be? Or what do you think is happening over here? Or yeah, anything. What can be the
They're
clue?
planning.
They're planning something? Yes, maybe.
I think that the people sitting on the stage are planning some constructions, and they're telling it to the people, and the people are very confused and they have many doubts.
Correct. And so the thing is that can you
I
make
think
some?
like, people on the stage all have different religions.
Okay. And
think they're asking them.
I think the people
I
on the
think
stage.
they're asking the people questions about their religions.
Maybe. Yes. Anything else?
Selling a house. Like
Anything else? So I got two broad points over here. People are discussing something, they are planning something, that is quite visible from here. And also the people sitting on the stage are from different religion, that can be like visible from the dress they are wearing, right? So basically that is it. So if you see that this picture, like what I understood from the picture was that the leaders are from different religions and they are having some kind of discussion, right? That's something that you also said just now. So it resembles the idea of unity in diversity. So have you heard about this phrase, unity in diversity, in your schools?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain?
No, sir.
Okay. So unity in diversity means that in spite of being from different parts of the world, people can work together, can come together and do something really good for the community, for the society. So that idea is called unity in diversity. So as you know about India, India is a diverse nation. Like there are people from different parts of the, like people with different cultures, different food habits, different religion, staying in different parts of the country. India is a large country, right? But still they are united as a nation. So that's the idea. And even the picture over here, it shows that in spite of being from different religion, the leaders are discussing something, like forgetting about the differences. So that is called unity in diversity. So this is an idea that can be like broadly described as an abstract idea. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it, but you can express it by words, right? Or feel it. Yeah, so this brings us to abstract versus concrete. Like, so there, these are the two things. So till now we have learned about the abstract. So can anyone tell me, like, what did you learn till now about abstract? What is it? What did you
Abstract
understand?
that we cannot touch.
Something we cannot touch. Anything else?
Abstract things are something you can feel, but you can't like see, taste, touch, or hear them.
Absolutely correct. So you are on the point. So in this picture, you can see some monks are just praying to Buddha, right? Praying before the God. So here also in this picture, there are things that you can touch. For example, the monks, that statues and the portraits, etc. There are many other things that can be felt with senses. You can touch them, but so they are called concrete. But the faith and the belief in God, so the faith with which the monks are praying to God, that cannot be felt physically. You can only understand that, you can only feel it. So that is an abstract idea. So these are the two basic differences between concrete and abstract. Fine. So we'll try to understand that more, like using this example of this animal. I hope you know this animal, right? What's the name?
Tiger.
Correct. So we'll try to understand that. Yeah. So this is something that you will have to do in groups. So you can discuss among yourself. I'll just give you some time and then we'll come up with the answers. So first question is this: what does the tiger do in the forest? So you can
Hunt.
just share.
Hunt for animals.
Correct. And
Take care of itself.
take care of the children. And
It searches for food.
absolutely. Anything else?
The tiger spends its life trying to take care of the cubs, but if anything it doesn't know, it will kill.
Correct. It
The
kills
tiger is also very important to the animal food chain.
correct. Absolutely. The deers and other herbivores in the forest, right? So this brings us to the next question. So this is a bit tricky one because you don't know how a tiger feels, right? You have never interacted with a tiger, but looking at his actions and looking at his lifestyle, can you just give me some idea about how the tiger might feel in the jungle?
The tiger is usually very angry
Okay.
and
One
hungry.
by one.
The
Angry and
tiger-
hungry.
The tiger feels very scared, so it's trying to defend itself by killing other animals, except for the ones like its cubs and anyone else it knows.
Right. Anyone else?
Tiger is very angry, and when any animal comes, he kill it
Kills
for
it, right?
food.
Correct. So
The tiger is always hungry and he's angry too.
correct. So tiger is both hungry and angry, right? All the time, and also scared sometimes for the children. So right. So yes. So can you spot the difference between these two questions? Basically, my idea was to create a difference between these two type of questions. Like, yeah. So what is the difference between these two questions, where I am asking about how the tiger feels and what the tiger does in the forest?
What the tiger does is like asking if we know what the tiger does in the forest, like he physically does. So whatever he does, it can be considered as a concrete noun, but how the tiger feels, it's more abstract because we don't really know how it feels, and we probably wouldn't know.
I think Chaitra gave the answer I was looking for. So anyone wants to add anything?
When you ask what does the tiger do in the forest, it's mostly about its being. And when you say it's like
Excellent.
when you say how does the tiger feel, it's about its emotions and feelings.
Correct, absolutely correct. So when I'm asking how the tiger feels, I'm asking about the emotions or something that is abstract in nature. When I'm asking about what he does, I'm asking about something very concrete, that is his actions inside the forest, right? Everyone agrees with this? Thank you. So this is what was there. So abstract, it is some kind of imaginary feeling, the feelings of the tiger and the specific actions of the tigers. Right. This brings us to the next part, where I will try to understand abstract in a different form. So like we understood abstract as emotions or qualities that cannot be touched or felt. So this brings us to this next part where we'll be trying to understand abstract in a different way. So can you identify the difference between these two pictures?
There's only one orange in picture B.
There's
but
only one orange.
a lot of fruits in picture A.
There's only one fruit in picture B and so many fruits in picture A. And when I see picture B and I get hungry, I start picturing picture A.
Okay, nice. Anyone else?
Picture B is only like one color. It's not that colorful, but picture A is like super colorful.
Yeah, true.
The same with Ishanvi.
Yes. So you have a good observation power, I think. So yeah, most of you are correct. Like all of you are correct. So the picture A is showing lot of fruits. Picture B is showing only one fruit, a specific type of fruit, and that is an orange, right? Yeah. So in the picture A, if you see, it shows fruits in general. So they have many general properties. Like if you talk about fruits, what are the general properties of fruits? Like they are sweet, they have many health benefits, and they have different types of colors.
They're
Someone said,
sour.
sorry.
They have seeds.
They're sour.
Yeah, they have seeds also. I forgot to mention that. They are
And
sour. Not every fruit is sour. Some are sour, some are sweet.
like in picture B, there's only like one like flavor you can picture.
They have
But in
different
picture
colors.
A, you can like think of multiple flavors.
Yes. And in picture B, we have only one flavor. That is like the flavor of an orange, right? Something sour, and also the properties, chemical properties of the orange is there. Like if you talk about picture B, we'll talk about more specific details. We'll talk about more specific details, the chemical composition of the fruit, and the color and the taste, right? But if we talk of the fruits, we'll not talk about all those things, but we'll talk about the qualities in general. So this brings us to the next definition of abstract. So here we'll try to do something like we'll try to generalize the things and try to find out a general idea of out of multiple objects or multiple animals or multiple fruits, and that is also a form of abstraction. For example, over here, if we see, look at these are different types of animals, right? But if we look at them specifically, there is one dog over there, there is this bug over here, and frog and hen and all. But generally speaking, they are all animals, right?
Yeah. All of these are animals, but each one acts differently and has a different habitat.
Absolutely. So they have their own properties, but when we talk about animals in general, we talk about everyone in the animal kingdom, right? So again, so this type of general ideas, generalizing things, or finding out the common properties also helps us to get it to an abstract idea or abstract concept. So the definition says that abstract includes general ideas, qualities, or properties rather than specific details or actions, right? So this is the other form of abstraction. So we'll look at few examples so that we have more clarity on this. So this is another picture. So I'll ask Aradhya, you can just tell me which one is abstract and why.
Because everyone likes chocolate. It's yummy.
And so there are two pictures. I forgot to number it. So the first picture is 1 and the second picture is 2. So
Okay.
so which one is abstract and why? Picture 1 or picture 2?
Picture 1.
Picture 1.
Yeah, because it has a lot of things, and it's really yummy.
Right. And anyone agrees or disagrees with Aradhya?
I agree.
I agree.
No.
I agree.
Disagrees? Correct. Then I think Aradhya was like absolutely correct, right? The first picture shows different types of cakes, right? So it shows cakes in general, but the picture 2 shows only one type of cake, and that is chocolate cake. So the second picture is something you're talking about specific properties, whereas in the first one we are talking about the general properties of the cake, like the softness, sweetness, and creaminess of the cake, right? Let's look at other exercises. So we'll try a few more examples after this so that we have a completion of this session. So here is another set of pictures. Here I think all of you can see and read the question also. So you need to identify the similarities and differences between these two objects. Now, what is the meaning of similarity?
Similarity
Something
means,
that's same.
yeah, they're like alike.
Has a property that's same.
Correct. And differences?
Like
They're
something that's
different.
not same.
They're like if there's a milkshake and if there's a chocolate milkshake and a strawberry milkshake, then they're different because other one is not a chocolate milkshake, it's a strawberry milkshake. So that's why they're different. They're not exactly the same ones.
Right. So you got the meaning of the two things, similarities and differences. So you look at these two pictures, take 30 seconds, and then tell me what are the similarities between these two pictures and the differences. Specifically, I am talking about the straw in the second picture and the stem in the first picture. So to give you an head start, so you can think on that line and identify the similarities and the differences. Take 30 seconds.
So you need to find what is same between the stems and the straw, okay? And what is different.
Sir, I got it. Can I tell? In the first picture, there's a straw. In the second picture, there's no straw, but the bamboo sticks, they look little like a straw, a green straw. And then the differences are that in the bamboo forest, there are only bamboo, but in the picture with the milkshake, it has some other people, and it looks like it's near some water body. And there are lots of rocks, but there are no rocks in that picture.
Can I say?
They both are edible. They both are edible, and one of them is like natural and the other one is man-made.
Right. Anything else?
First picture, there is straw that is cylindrical, and the bamboo one is also cylindrical. And the difference is that the straw one picture is man-made, and bamboo one is natural.
Right.
The same one is the straw and the bamboo tree thing is shaped the same, and the different one is that one is liquid and one is hard.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone wants to add anything after
There
this?
is green in the background in the first, but there's no green in the second background.
That is also correct. Yeah. Correct. I got my answer, I think. So basically, these are two things that do similar type of job, that is carrying some fluid from the from a point below to a point up, right? When you use the straw to drink some coffee or milkshake, you use the straw. Similarly, in the stem, if you see the food or the water and the minerals that reaches the plant, the top of the plants, to the leaves and the other parts, that job is done by the stem of the plant, right? So I think I got the answer. And also you did well to identify that one is man-made and other is natural. So the straw is a man-made object made of plastic, whereas the stem grows naturally. That is the first thing. Straw is a non-living thing, but the stem is a part of a living being, right? So stem is a living thing, you can say. And both that's the difference. And the similarity is that both of them carry fluids through them. fluids they carry are nutritious in nature. So they carry some kind of fluid that have minerals in them and some nutrition, right? So anyone have anything to say till now? Any question, anything you felt like was not
What is
good,
the
or you are
class
thinking?
mainly about?
Yeah, so the class is mainly about understanding the difference between these two ideas, that some things are concrete and some things are abstract, like some things that you cannot touch or feel, but you can express, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings us to this set of pictures. There are 3 pictures over here. Okay, so you need to find out the odd one out, right? Which one of these pictures is
One
different
in
from
the middle.
The middle one.
and why? Yeah, that's
All
true,
of-
but why?
Picture
Because it
A
is
and
village.
picture
One by one.
C.
Okay, I think I need to reiterate the norm. So whenever one person is speaking, the others will have to listen. So that we do not speak like over each other, right? So I'll start with maybe who started? Isanvi. Isanvi, you can start.
Picture A and picture C are like crowded, but picture like B is not. And
Anything else? Anyone wants to add anything?
Can I?
In picture A and
Yes.
picture C, there it looks like that's a big city, but in picture B, it just looks like a small village.
Yeah. And Agni.
picture A and picture C, they're like have a lot of crowd, but picture B looks really lonely.
True. Very true.
Picture B looks abandoned.
Nidhi is raising her hand, Bijan. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Nidhi.
Nidhi, go ahead. Nidhi. Hello.
In picture A and picture C, there are like big buildings and a big rush of crowd, and yeah. And in picture B, there's nothing, just small houses and person and bricks.
Correct. Anyone wants to
picture-
add anything?
In
Yes,
picture
Agni.
in picture A and C, there are towns or cities, but in the middle one there is village, and it is very lonely, and other ones are very crowded.
All of you have answered correctly
Picture
for this.
A and picture C looks like they have a lot of pollution and they have lots of vehicles, but like picture B is abandoned and it doesn't have a lot of vehicles, and it's all greenery.
Right. So there are more green in the picture B, I think, right? And picture A, there are a lot of tall buildings and cars and autos and all. Yeah. So if I ask you, can you find out any 1 or 2 similarities between all these 3 pictures? Any similarity?
People. Only
Yeah.
one person, yeah. One person, please.
Yeah, still people are there. And also the
They're
buildings are,
all
Buildings.
they all have a lot of trees.
yes. So
Then both
I found something that
there are houses.
houses, yes, and houses made of bricks. So that's the thing that I wanted to point out. So if you look, so I think I got the answer, like all of you have answered very correctly. The second picture is different from the other 2. The first and the third picture show life in a city, whereas the second picture shows the village. The cities are filled with people and vehicles, but the village is empty, as you can see, right? Yeah, I think this is a bit tricky one. So you need to look at these 3 pictures over here and you need to
Sir?
make a conclusion. Yes. Hello.
Sir,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, I
I
can.
wanted to say that in the picture before, picture A and picture B, they didn't have any.
Yes, tell me.
But picture C had like a road. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So I got your point. So picture A and B have mud roads made of, I think, soil, and
Concrete.
yeah, and picture C has a concrete road, right?
Sir,
Yes.
in the
Yes.
second picture, in the next picture, there are all the baby and the baby plant and the tiger cub. The similarity is that they're all babies.
Correct. So I'll give you some more time to think a bit more about this picture and try to find out a conclusion or make some assumption from this picture. Like what similarities do you see? And
They're all
based on
living
that,
things.
all living things, correct? But there is more to it.
In the second picture, in the second picture, there's no adult plant close to the baby plant, but in the picture with the human baby, there is somebody putting it in the bed, and in the picture with the lion cub, there's the lion. The lion is there, and
Correct.
he's with the cub.
Agni,
Agnish, you're raising hand.
Sir, the picture shows that how animals reproduce themselves.
Right. Anything else? Nidhi, Ishanvi. Nothing.
I have one. Only if the humans move the thing, then only it can move. But the lion and the baby can move by itself.
Yeah, that's a very good point actually. So basically what these three pictures, so any other response after that? I will say. No. Okay. So basically what these three pictures are is the pictures are about. So these pictures are about beginning of some kind of life, like be it humans, be it a lion, or be it a plant, right? So some kind of life form is beginning, and the babies that you see, that human baby and the lion baby, are nurtured by the parent, but the plant is alone, right? In plants the seed germinate, so the plant grows from a seed, but in animals and humans the mother gives birth to the young ones. So there are both similarities and differences in these pictures, and that is something that I wanted to point out. And I think all of you have given similar responses. So anyone wants to add anything from?
There, one more thing. The baby is inside, and all the other ones, and the lion cub and the plant are outside.
Inside a home?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also true. So animals live outside, like other than pet dogs and cats, but humans always live on home, in their homes. That is also a point.
I have one thing. The sprouting can die easily if someone steps on it, but these can't die because, there's nothing with it.
Yeah, so I told you that mothers are there for animals, and mothers and or parents are there to take care of the child. But for the plants, it's purely dependent on the nature, right? So it is much more difficult for the plants to grow than the animals, I think. Like that can be one conclusion that can be drawn. Fine. Any other response? Okay.
Yes, sir. Plant
Tell me, Agnes.
can grow its and take its foods itself, and other cannot.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. So plants grow, and so so the plants, they can make their own food, but the animals cannot. So this brings us to the I think this is the last one. So there are two sentences over here, and you will have to find out the, like, you will have to distinguish between the use of root, the word root, in these two sentences. Basically what you will have to do is that read to these two sentences and tell me how root is being used differently in these two sentences.
Sir, in the first sentence, root is being used like the root that grows underground. But in the second sentence, root is being used like the start, the source.
Correct. So anyone else? Any other response? Take your time. Nidhi, Agnes, Isanvi.
Sir, Shanvi left.
Okay. Fine. Anyone has to add anything to this? I think Chaitra gave a very nice response. So if I simplify this question, if I ask you where, in which sentences, which of these two sentences root is in the abstract form, and which sentence the root is in the concrete form?
The first sentence is in the concrete form and the second is in the abstract form.
Okay. Nidhi, what will be your response? Okay. Agnes?
My response will be also same.
Same. Okay. Fine. Anyone has any other response? Fine. I'll take this response from, I think Chatra gave a very good response. So if you look at these two sentences, I know it was a bit tough for you. So you see if you look at the first sentence, it is talking about something very specific, something very concrete, in the sense that you can touch the roots of the vegetables, right? Some roots are eaten by humans as food. So this is talking about something very concrete. But in the second sentence, the root of ignorance is a lack of education. So as Chaitra said, it is actually talking about the source of ignorance. So it is not actually something that you can physically touch, right? So in the second sentence, root is being used in the abstract sense. We can say that. So if you look at the answer also, it says same, right? I think the question is a bit confusing. So if you have any question, you can ask right now. I'll just try to clarify. Any question? Nidhi, Aradhya, Agnes, Chaitra.
What, sir? Could you tell again?
Okay, so I'll just so if you look at the first sentence, it is talking about the roots that are actually present, the roots of the plants, that some roots are eaten by humans. So it is talking about those type of things. For example, I think we eat a lot of Anu, can you give some examples of roots that we eat?
Carrot, onion.
Carrot, onion.
I don't know. Maybe you guys know what?
Radish.
I'm kind of drawing blank, guys. Can you help?
Radish.
Radish, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so it is talking about those kind
Yeah.
of roots in the first sentence, beetroot. Yeah. But in the second sentence, it is not talking about the roots of plants, but it is talking about something very like some kind of an idea, like the root of ignorance, like the source of ignorance. It comes from lack of education. So in that sense, it is trying to explain something else using the word root, right? So that's why we can call the root is used as an abstract idea over here in the second sentence.
Because there is no plant called ignorance, right? It is more an abstract idea. You guys know what ignorance is, correct?
Yes.
Would anybody want to explain what is the meaning of ignorance?
The meaning of ignorance is basically like if your mom is asking you to do something and you don't even reply, that means like you're ignoring your mom.
Well, that's sort of right, but ignorance means not knowing. Like when you ignore something, that means that you're not acknowledging them. And ignorance means you don't know what is right and what is wrong. So that is ignorance. Anyway, we can move ahead.
Yeah. So this brings us to the last question of the session. So here we are basically trying to identify the missing number by and how we are going to do that. We are going to identify the patterns in which the numbers are arranged and try to figure out what number can be there instead of the question mark. So you can take some time on this and try to figure out and find out the missing number. So I'll give you a clue over here. Just try to read the numbers opposite to each other and try to figure out something using them.
Eight is supposed to go in the question mark place. I mean, not 8, 6.
I'm still waiting for the others to respond.
Bijan, maybe you can give them more clues.
Yes, I think Chaitra already have cracked the question, I think.
You need to go back to that slide and
Yes, I'm going back to the slide.
Yeah, I think it's 6.
I gave you the answer. Yeah. So so I want you to look at the numbers opposite to each other and try to figure out something using them, or maybe you can try to connect them with some operation like multiplication or addition or subtraction or division, the numbers opposite to each other. That
so
might give you
8
the
and
answer.
13, 10 and 11, 7 and 4,
Yes.
10 and what?
I didn't think about it like that.
Oh, okay. What made you think that it was 6? The answer is 6.
So basically what I did, so I saw 13 to 11 was 13 minus 2 equals to 11, and 10 minus 2 equals to 8. And I saw 17 minus 2 equals 15, and 4 dash minus 4 equals to 2. So I thought that, so I just thought it was 6.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Diti, Aradhya, look, what is common between 10 and 11? Maybe you try to add these two numbers. So what will you get if you guys add all of these opposite pairs? Let's say 13 plus 8. It's 21, right? And we see that 10 plus 11 is also 21. And so that's how it is. 15 plus 6 is 21. Okay. I guess we can move on.
Yeah, so this is it basically. So if we add the numbers opposite to each other, we get 21 every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this brings us to the end, I think. So we'll just revise a bit. I think,
Agnish is just joining in Vision. Give like 1 minute.
okay.
Looks like they had some network issue.
He's there?
Yeah,
Agnes? Hi,
I think
Agnes.
I can hear you.
He can do this as a homework, I think.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. He can hear you, I guess.
Yeah, so this brings us to the end, and here we'll try to revise a bit. So I'll just ask you the difference between abstract and concrete. Whatever you understood from the entire session, like you can share with me. I'll go with Nidhi. Nidhi, I think, is she there? Okay, Agnes.
What I understood that whatever we could touch is concrete, and what we cannot touch is abstract.
Right. Can you give me 2 examples of each? Like 1 example of each?
Okay, concrete. One example of concrete is book,
Correct.
and an example of abstract is angry or happy.
Correct.
These are an emotion. Emotion is an example of abstract.
Mhm. Okay, Chaitra.
Yes.
So what do you understand by concrete and abstract? What did you understand from the
I
session?
understand that concrete is something you can either touch, taste, feel, see, or hear, or smell. But abstract, you can't do any of those, and it's like your imagination. It's not actually there.
True. Aradhya? Aradhya, Nidhi. I don't think they're there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll watch this video, and like we'll try to
So
end our session by watching this video, right?
1 second, Bijan. Before that, if anybody can share, like, you know, what you felt, what was one thing that was good in the class and what was one thing that can be better. Agnish, do you have something to share?
The video was good. I can not find anything that I could share now.
Okay, sure. You can chat. You can also put that message in chat. or you can talk about what is one thing that you have learned here. Chaitra, do you have anything to share?
I think the class was good. There was nothing really bad about it, except I thought this was going to be in English and math, but there was only one math puzzle and 3 English puzzles.
Okay. Did you know
Okay,
the
so
difference between concrete and abstract before?
Yeah, I read the chapter in my textbook.
Okay.
I think the network is bad over here, so we can
Okay.
stop it here.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
So
I think,
thank you everyone for being there. Thank you, Chaitra. So you can
Thank you,
talk
sir.
to
Let's begin.
Agnes. Started. Okay. Thank you, Agnes, Chaitra, Anu.